Howdy, welcome back to the show. Today we're working on armrests for I think 98 and newer Blazers, and I think Jimmy's had the same style of armrest, but these are the armrests that you don't see the screw holes from the top. The fasteners for the armrest are from underneath, and these are notorious. I've never seen original armrests that weren't broke. What happens is the plastic shatters, the bolts that hold these on here rip through, and then you're just kind of left with an armrest that flops and debris. So I have come up with a weird way of repairing these. It actually looks like it's going to work. I'll let you know in about 10 years whether or not it works. But let's get started. Okay, just so everybody knows, this is what one of those armrests look like with everything all the overmolding and foam ripped off of it. I believe this said somewhere on here it was ABS plastic. And then you have a urethane foam overmold, and then you have the vinyl overmolded over that. Probably the vinyl is put on there. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if the vinyl goes over the foam or if the vinyl goes on and then they inject the foam inside. I just don't know. Maybe everybody's favorite Canadian profanity coach could tell you, but I don't know. But this is what it looks like with all of the filth and corruption tore off of it. I just kind of wanted to see, for my own sake, how all this worked when I was coming up with a way to repair this. So you can see on this one kind of what I've done. I've made some inserts, and I'll show you how I made this. You need an 1.5 inch long insert and a 2 inch long insert. And all this is a piece of 1/4 inch pipe with some ears welded onto it that fit down in these voids. And before the insert is put in there, that whole void, I stuffed it full of cat hair Bondo. That's what this stuff here is. It's just regular old cat hair Bondo. And I packed it down in all these voids as good as I could, and then stuck the inserts in that bed of Bondo to lock it down. So being we're going to be pulling on this whole area here with that insert, I think this will fix the problem. I did look around. LMC truck had these armrests, or they had the left side armrest was the only one I could find that was available, and it was $180 some. Maybe there's a better source than LMC. I didn't even check with the dealer. They may still be available as a dealer item. I don't know. I thought for $20 I'd just give it a try doing this, and we'll see what happens. So on to making these. Like I said, this piece of 1/4 inch pipe. I took the 1/4 inch pipe. It was galvanized. I soaked it in Ofaso overnight, burned all the galvanize off. That way I didn't have to breathe that filthy, nasty stuff. This is the 1.5 inch one. It goes in the front, sits down in there like that, and I'm going to build a 2 inch one for the back. Before you do anything with this, you got to take a screwdriver, pocket knife, whatever you can get, and get all of this crud cleaned up out of there. Got to have something for the Bondo to stick to. And there goes the air conditioner, and I'm not turning it off. You'll just have to deal with it. It's hot. So we're over here at the lathe. Now you don't have to do this on the lathe, but I am going to face up the ends, and I'm going to bore this down the middle with a 25/64 bit, which we'll see why here in a minute. But pretty simple stuff. Just face the ends of it off and bore it down the middle. That's all we're going to do. And I'm not going to do that on camera because my lathe sounds like hell come to breakfast, and it's way too loud, and I don't feel like doing a whole lot of editing. So here we go. So here's our piece. It's faced and bored, and I'm going to stick that down in there about a 1/2 inch, 3/8, something like that. And these ears are that's a 1/2 inch flat washer that's just been cut in 4 pieces, and that's what locks it into the cat hair. So we're going to lay that on like that. I'm going to weld that one on there, and I'm going to weld his brother up here, and then I'll flip it and tack it on the other side too. So here's the piece we just did, and here's the short one. Like I said, this one's 2 inches, this one's 1.5 inches. And I failed to mention, on the short one, you have to cut the ears off kind of tangential to the insert in order to have room enough for that to fit in there. Something like that. If you leave the ears on it, it won't go down in there all the way. So there's that. I'm going to clean all this goo out of here, all the foam. I'm going to take a pick and screwdriver and pick all that crud out of there and get that clean. And I'm going to rough it up just a little bit and take a ball and get down in here where the injection hole is and kind of root some of that out of there so I can have my Bondo go down in that hole. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've got everything fairly set up here. I gotta blow this out, but I've got the crud picked out of the holes there, about as good as it's going to get. And I've got it wallered down to where my Bondo has a purchase down inside of these holes. And now this is a piece of 3/8 cold rolled, just 3/8 stuff laying around. I turned a point on the end of it, and this one I turned it down just a little bit because there was some of the original holes still left. So I did that so that it actually finds the hole exactly. On the first one I did, on this one, the holes were completely gone. So I just kind of guessed at it. Now, the original bolts that hold this together have got a captive washer on them that is just about the same size as a 1/4 inch piece of pipe. So I kind of trial and error and wild guess. That's why I'm using 1/4 inch pipe. And the reason I drilled her out one size over 3/8 is because I used a 3/8 insert to align it. So I'm going to get some Bondo mixed up here, and we'll get it Bondoed. I also put some tape on the end of this so that it spaces it up off of this just a hair. I think that'll make it easier to get the socket in there when I go to tighten these up. It is what it is, just got to be. So, hey, on Bondo, make nice with your heating and air guy, and have him save you back some scraps. You're not going to find a better disposable Bondo mixing area than a piece of scrap sheet metal, and you're never going to find better spatulas for mixing Bondo with than a piece of scrap sheet metal. So there's that. I'll try to get a shot of getting Bondo in this, but I can't make no promises. One thing I did do, and I failed to mention, this is just regular old duct tape, real duct tape, tinfoil duct tape. And I've put about 5 layers on here and used that for a dam on this one that had so much plastic missing. I can't think of any other way to do it than this, and it works pretty good, and it's cheap. So I'll get some Bondo mixed up, we'll stuff it full of Bondo, and we'll go from there. So we're kind of doing the hurry up game here. My wife just came out and told me we got company going to be here in 10 minutes. How lovely. Kind of the most important thing in my eyes, there goes the air conditioner again, is to get it stuffed down in all of the voids so that it's a monolithic block of crud down in there. Whoop. Bondo's going off already. The mixture too hot. Well, there we go. If that don't work, we'll always say it shoulda. Now, we're not going to ever take this thing to the fair and show it off. But after all that's said and done, after this goes off a little bit, but still got heat in it, then you can take your Dremel or pocket knife, or I use a pocket knife, but take a knife and kind of clean up the roughness of it. You know, get the most of it off that you want, that you don't want to get poked by, and kind of whittle it off till it looks like that, and I think we're done. Now I'm just going to use 1/4" bolts to bolt this back to the door. The original bolts are some kind of weird metric bolt. It's a Chevrolet metric body bolt, but they're only 1 inch long, so they're really close to a 1/4 inch. They're a little bit coarser, but they're pretty close. I can't find an American wood screw that's anywhere near it, so I'm just going to run a tap into the thread zerks that are in the door and just tap them to 1/4, and then we'll put all this back together with 1/4 inch bolts. No big deal. So there we go. I'm going to do a little whittling when this goes off. I'm going to do a little whittling on it, and a day or two when this is good and solid, I'll put everything back together and we'll have door handles. Like I said, it's nothing that I would take to the fair, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work for a while. Anyway, y'all drive safe. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it to subscribe and a like. Tell me everything I'm doing wrong in the comments. Till we meet again, y'all drive safe. Watch for deer.